All right, I think it's recording. All right. Hey guys, what's up? This is Kid Bird One. We're listen, technical difficulties, all right? We're back with our podcast, obviously joined here with Dean to my left on screen, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
And so we have a few topics this week to talk about. We're going to mostly be talking about local experiences, booster announcements, and stuff from the Bushiroad. What is it? Summer. I keep wanting to say
Whatever
Caribou.
that
Yeah.
stream was, they gave us a lot to
Then
talk about. They did.
Yep. Um, yeah, we're mostly about that, and then a few things here at the end. So I guess we'll just get right into it. So
Yeah.
I know this weekend. I guess we'll start with you, Dean, because I know this weekend you were not able to get into locals very much because you had other plans already set for this
Right.
weekend.
Well, I was a little excited Thursday. I finally got my case. I opened it. You guys saw the box opening. That was pretty sick. That was 2 boxes at random. The case was cracked. Kit, you really hooked me up. Sadly, you did my boy Ellis dirty. He got omega screwed.
Wait,
I
really?
pulled 6 Lucifers. He pulled like 4. Okay, I pulled 7 Fortes. He pulled like 4.
Oh
So
my god!
the
What
cases
leaders did
I
he get at
pulled.
least?
He pulled Ralmia, Ramnia, whatever her name
Sword
is,
one, right?
Moon Almirage,
Oh,
and he
Mulan.
pulled Rowan. I also pulled Rowan. So there's 2 Rowans in there, but I got what's her name? Aurelia,
Yeah.
and I got Forte and Otohime. He got Gabriel, Juno's, Jean as his URs. So
John's not bad at
yeah,
least. A lot of people actually want that card.
Jean's not bad. I bought the Junos for like $28, so
Yeah, yeah, those
it's a
are
little
pretty.
rough.
I opened that also, so it was kind of. I was like, "Oh, this is upsetting," and I don't even know if I'm gonna be playing like Dirt Rune anytime soon. But
What's
I
sad
guess we'll
is
see.
even if you played Dirt Rune, that card is dropped immediately.
Oh no, don't say
Like
that.
as
Let me
soon as
sell
set
mine
2 is
first.
out, you're done with that card. Well,
Damn.
actually, maybe not. But yeah, so boxes were good. The cards move fast. That was crazy. I had sold every excess card like that overnight.
I
So
mean,
it's
that's
good to
always a
see
good
this
sign. Yeah.
game. Yeah, game has demand. It's cool. But then I went to Anime Midwest. It's a smaller con out here. It's about 20,000 people, I think, maybe.
Probably
They
close
had
to that, maybe less even. I've been to Midwest a few times when I used
yeah,
to
they
live
had
over there. So
epic rap battles of history. Love to see that. And then I said I have to do it. I have to do it, kid. You got to understand. This is
yeah,
my
I
internet
understand.
handle. I found an animation cell that literally nobody's going to care about. This is people don't know me on Discord. This is the Serio Tenon, the one I took my namesake of. I didn't know that animation cell existed before that convention, but I didn't even know that show had cell animation
Well,
because they use CG in
good
it.
for you then. Also, I mean, didn't you say they labeled it incorrectly too? Because I know you were telling me a little bit before we started.
On the back of the cell, I don't know if you can see that. It says El Hazard TV.
All right.
So they thought it was from El Hazard, which is some other show that I've never seen. But
Interesting.
yeah, that was a sick pickup. Convention was great, and then we played some Shadowverse. I taught it to some people. What I do like about this game, every single person I've showed it to has picked it up by the end of the first game. New experience for me with card games, and every single person has liked the game. Not everyone's liked the app, but that's something to come around to.
Yeah, I have a similar experience. Like the biggest thing, I think we talked about this before in one of the videos, or maybe even last week, is just that like you can sit down, like teach a person like 1 or 2 turns, and then be like, all right, you're on your own. You can actually do everything yourself now. And like maybe a question will come up with weird interactions or like reminders of small things, but like yeah, once you like learn everything, it's very easy to pick up very quick. So you don't have to like sit there because I know both of us played Weiss before and stuff like that, where we're like, okay, here's like 40 different things you gotta like know about the game just to be able to
Well,
get through the turns.
I want to say I've also messed up. The only decks I have sleeved right now are Fairy Forest, which it needs some work. It needs some work. And Dirt Rune. And Dirt Rune, that magic sediment's got some text on it. So you're
Yeah.
trying to teach someone the game, and then you're like, okay, so there's the stack mechanic, and this card explains it. It's like a paragraph on this like token. So that's been fun trying to But
Yeah.
usually it's like after like one game or so, they understand the mechanic. I do think the starter decks are a really bad way to teach people just because they're like so low on card draw. But maybe
Oh
that's me
yeah.
being like overly critical.
Maybe, but I personally I think if you're gonna build a deck for someone to get into the game with, and that's really cheap to get into the game with, I think Sword is the way to go because it's the most straightforward. Like out of all of them, you have a
Just
guy,
slam
you
dude
build
down.
more guys, and you like attack your opponent with dudes. There's not really a lot of spells or anything you have to worry about. So yeah, I think that's like the way to go. If anyone, basically, you should keep Sword on you all the time, at least until later sets come out, because I think it's the easiest to like get people into the game and get them up to speed the quickest and cheapest. I think because I think Sword is the cheapest deck overall right now in general for like
Cheaper
a
than Forest?
maybe not, but I mean like as far as like competitive viability goes, it's definitely probably the cheapest deck to pick up. I feel like because isn't most of the I feel like most of the deck is the starter deck itself plus like just a few extra cards from the booster maybe. So it's like maybe there's a few legendaries from Sword.
Aurelia. I mean, like every class plays all of their legendaries right now, right? We don't have a big card pool.
Yeah, pretty much. Almost every list I've been seeing is like almost the same, except for like a handful of cards are swapped around or ratios. But yeah. And then like I what is it? You said you're this at least this weekend once you made back from Midwest, you had some trouble setting up your locals.
Oh, dude, yeah. I left Midwest early because me and my friend were like, hey, we kind of want to get the scene going. But because like we didn't get the product until Thursday, the store didn't get the product till Friday. So we were a week late on getting product. But I was like, okay, I'm going to this convention. Just people, we've set Sunday at 4 to 5 to be the time. Let's just try to show up then. I guess I got a text message from my boy Ellis sometime while driving back that he was going to be playing Shatterpoint, a game that I've never heard of. Or it's like a Star Wars miniature game. And then like also he failed to recruit anyone else. So we somehow failed to get even a 4-man locals off the ground on Sunday. So now this week is going to be me going and recruiting people and finding out what day works. But that is the struggle of being in a small town with a brand new game and like trying to coordinate who comes and when.
No,
But
yeah, for sure. Especially
we,
like
we've
yeah, getting off the ground is the hardest part.
we've had a lot of interest in the game, even in this small town. I'm pretty sure we can easily get a 10-man locals going within a month. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen for you. You just gotta put in the effort pretty much.
but speaking of locals, what about your locals? I've heard some stuff about yours.
Yeah, my
A
weekend
little bit
popped
better.
off pretty crazy. I'm very lucky to be in Southern California, which is like one of the bigger Booster Road hotspots for if you have a Booster Road game. Almost every store here carries it or like tries to like you know place what is the word placate the community because there's just so many people who play Booster Road games around here, like Vanguard, Weiss, and stuff. And so a lot of stores here are either carrying Shadowverse or trying to like set up locals. So I went to how many did I go to? I went to 3 locals this past weekend. I played Dragon at all of them because of this first weekend I was just like I'm gonna play only one deck at every locals and then kind of swap it up every week until I figure out exactly what I want to play. It's like spoiler, it's probably gonna be Dragon or like Haven or something. Like those are like the two main ones I've been thinking about. But these locals the popped off like crazy. So the first one I went to was Unrated Gaming on Friday night, and there they had I think it was how many people? I think it was 11 people. I wish I wrote this down for that one. I think it was 11 or like 13. It was an odd number, but it was double digits. That was a lot of fun. I got top four. It sucks because I only lost one match and got fourth place, and it was because the first opponent I played against, I I opened up triple dragon oracle, right? And I was like, this is a pretty awesome hand. And then I look across and my opponent's playing aggro blood. And I'm like, this hand looks a lot worse now. And this was after already mulliganed. And I was like, well, this sucks. That game was pretty rough. It was the only game I lost, and unfortunately, that person lost all his matches afterwards. So I had the worst tiebreaker of all the X ones. Still placed top four, which was pretty cool after 4 rounds. The next day was the one that was like absolutely insane. The amount of players we had there. So this was at top spot, or yeah, I think Top Spot Cards, I think is the name. And there, that locals on a Saturday, we had 41 players there, which was absolutely insane. Like they had to kick everyone out of the store to like set up the tournament area and call people back in every round to like sit them down because there's just too many people in there. And I think it felt like at one point like the AC just was not working because we had too many people in there. So I do have one picture. I'll pop it up here for you guys. This was at the locals there, and some people brought out like a sleeping bag mat to like start playing on the side of the road here because there was just not enough room in the store because everyone was there to play Shadowverse, which was pretty awesome to
That's
see.
good. That's actually insane.
Yeah, it was actually really crazy. And yeah, so that locals was a lot of fun, and except for the part where it was a 5 round tournament and 4 of my 5 rounds were dragon mirrors. So it just came down to like who won the die roll and then whether or not you opened up dragon oracle or some kind of ramp early. And 3 of my 4 matches I just opened up no ramp until after turn 7. I was like, okay, well that sucks. Still went 3-2 at that locals, ended up 11th out of 41, which is not bad for a 5 round tournament. That event was a lot of fun and a lot of people I got to meet there and like say hi to everyone and stuff like that. So that locals really like boosted my spirit for like this game is definitely gonna like be around for quite a while. I feel like. And then the
Yeah,
final
definitely.
locals, yeah, the final locals I went to was on Sunday. I think they were called. I don't remember the name. I think they're called Project CCG or something like that. In Alhambra. That one I went there earlier in the day to play Weiss because they had a Weiss thing before the Shadowverse stuff. So after the Weiss, I jumped over to the Shadowverse side. There, I think they said they had 18 players, or like 18 or 15 players, something like that. Oh no, it had to be an odd number because there was one buy. So I think it was probably like 15 or 17 players, some one of those, I think. And then that one I went 3-1 in. Luckily, only had to do 2 dragon mirrors, and the finals was a dragon mirror, and I ended up getting second place at that one, which was like a lot of fun. And then like yeah, I got to talk to a lot of people there, which was really great. Everyone was really excited for the game. Everyone really liked the game. Like everyone had already like constructed decks and everything. There was a lot of blood players and sword players there, and then like the few dragon players, of course, ended up matching against each other, especially after round 1, because I think all of us were XO, and then it was just like dragon mirror into dragon mirror. It was really weird, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was really happy with my performance over the weekend. Learned a lot about some of the matchups and like how to play them a little bit more cleanly. And yeah, like yeah, just the entire community in SoCal is like really popping off for Shadowverse Evolve. So this is definitely going to be a huge hub. But I think everyone kind of knew that going into the game. So
At this
yeah,
point, Kit maybe have more games under his belt than me at this point now. Because
possibly.
I did have like pretty limited exposure up to this point. Like, right,
Yeah,
you still don't have me beat on digital, so
oh, I'll never be you on
you
digital.
gotta grind a little bit
Oh
more
man,
there.
I'd have to like not sleep for an entire year and play nonstop, and then I'll probably get there. Oh man, but yeah, that was like the mostly the locals experience. I'm excited to see how some of these places like from a month from now. I'm sure that's when like you'll see if people are still sticking around and playing competitively, right? I
Through
think
the dragon mirrors.
yeah.
I'm I'm really hoping that it's not actually like people say, and that it's just the dragon's the easiest and most solved. Like,
It's
I'm hopeful for Haven. I'm hopeful for Haven. I want to be a Haven gamer or a Sword gamer.
I think the
I'm
biggest
hoping this is not
thing
like Ghost, where it's 78% of the meta.
I think the biggest thing about that is that a lot of players early on who are like already like you know like getting sweaty into the game right before release, they probably did like a little bit of research, and like most things point towards like all the at least the English stuff all points like, oh, dragon's like the deck to beat, the dragon's the deck to beat. But it's definitely not the strong, like it's not so strong that it just literally destroys every matchup. It definitely feels lopsided for a few of the lower tier decks, I would say. So like playing into to D shift, like I feel like that's a free matchup for dragon as long as you
D
get
shift's
like,
not good. I
yeah, you
told you,
get,
bro. I told you on that tier list.
yeah, I think D shift got third at the Sunday locals, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the thing, yeah, like Yeah, D shifts is like a pretty free matchup for Dragon, I think. Because like once you just like get out of like 21 damage in one turn, like they can't really. They have to like double D shift you or do some like really wonky stuff to like get you down a little bit, and it's tough for them to like even attack you early on because like they're what are they gonna do? Either attack you with their penguin or use the penguin's effect to discard and draw, right? Which they really want to fill up
So,
the waiting room. But yeah,
have you become a believer then in the over 40 card double D shift deck?
I mean, it should. I was already a believer. I think even by default, you should be running like at least like 45-ish cards in D shift.
And
It
especially now that you've seen it, like, do you think that the people on 40 cards, they just have like almost an impossible hurdle because of their damage output?
pretty much because like the biggest issue was not never like did they have resources or ways to like deal with board and stuff like that. That was never it. The biggest issue was that like by time they kind of started getting to a position where they could pop off, their deck was like almost all gone already. And so like
The
if
way I felt.
yeah, if the game extends like beyond that, it's just you deck out and you lose and you're like, okay. And then the fact that Merlin lets you search and then reuse spells from the grave or whatever is like really powerful. So like you don't mind as much that you have a thicker deck because early game you're just like draw ditch and like get discarding random Trail of Lights. That's the card, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Merlin, Search Trail of Light, Ditch with Penguin.
Yeah, you
It's like
do
you
weird.
search Fate's Hand.
Yeah, you do weird lanes like that. Yeah, lots of Fate hands too, like Merlin, Evo, Fate hand, gain a play point back, draw two. It just yeah, like you have a lot of lines to dig through your deck very fast and fill up your graveyard very fast. But like I do feel like you get to a point where it's like, oh, I might like decking out is actual threat of losing the game if you play D shift, especially if
Yeah.
you're able to go off, and like control the game long enough to get to that point. But yeah, I do think still from everything I've played so far, I do feel like Dragon is probably the best deck in the format, but not by a huge margin. Definitely not like the deck is unbeatable because it definitely has issues running into aggro especially if it opens up poorly. If you brick, you're like kind of fucked. Even if you don't completely brick, you have to make really weird decisions of dropping down your like tutus and like if you don't open up Dragon Warrior, it becomes rough because you just take so much damage early where you're no longer the aggressor for a while. You are playing the control game plan and trying to make all the 2-for-1s you can do until your opponent runs out of gas. So like one of the first matchups on Sunday was I played against Sword, and I haven't played against Sword at all, but a lot of like newer players and people getting into the game, like Sword's a very solid deck because it has a very linear game plan. You make dudes and you hit face and you make value trades against your opponent to like slowly basically mid-range them out of the game. So that game was uh that game for me was very interesting because like you had to make a lot of very like varying decisions where a lot of times you don't even care about ramping that much. You're just trying to play to like out or like whittle them down to their hand was like not much left because you in the long run you should win most games as Dragon, except in the mirror where you just die on turn 7 or something. But yeah, so yeah, just those matchups and stuff was very interesting and things like that. But yeah, I forgot exactly where I was going with this, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
pretty much it for locals talk, I guess. Right?
yep. It looks like we are ready to talk then about the boosters. We have more announcements from Bushiro. Do you have those
Oh
pulled up?
yeah, I do. Actually, I'll put this up first. I guess we can just show this off very quick. I mean,
Oh,
I
the
showed a
shop
video.
stuff. I can't believe I forgot to talk about the shop stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, these are the two promos that they're giving out for the shop qualifiers, which are shop qualifiers are events to win spots to go to regional qualifiers, and then regional qualifiers gets this promo. Um, Maybe you can
Beautiful
answer this
card.
question. Yeah, do these arts come out in Japanese at all or no?
Yes, I think they
They
did. They
did?
have some
Okay. I
alternate
wasn't
arts.
100% sure because I looked around and didn't see these. Like when I glanced at the PR section on the Japanese site, but I must have missed it. But yeah, these I really like these arts, so I'm gonna be excited to get a hold of these at least for myself.
Demonic Strike. I'm not the biggest believer. Even in Rune, I only like it as a one of, and that's only if you have Merlin. But the Angelic Snipe's actually pretty good. That feels good in like any deck actually.
Yeah, Angelic Snipe, solid card. I think Demonic Strike is okay, especially in Rune, but it's definitely not like a
In Rune as a
high.
one of, you tutor with Merlin, you get in
Yeah,
the grave, you copy with Merlin. The
yeah,
3 mana for 3 is like,
yeah. But, I mean, you have some lines with Merlin though when you whittle them down with a D shift and then Merlin Demonic Strike for like the last three and stuff. There's some lines, but yeah, you're right.
yeah,
It's
there's
not
some
like
lines.
not the most amazing card, but yeah. So yeah, these promos very cool. I'm glad to see we're gonna start seeing some things we're gonna be getting at these events because I'm really excited to start participating in them. I think that's nothing else really to add about.
Hoping these are the Shatterfoils. I know. Question for you now.
Yeah.
I've had people say everything. I guess I should point at the camera, not down. How do you feel about the Shatterfoil? I've had people tell me they don't like the Shatterfoil. I've heard people say they're neutral on it. I myself like it. Where are you on those? The SLs and the
Yeah,
premiums.
I like it a majority of the time. I think it really depends on the art on the cards. Some cards I'm like I don't really care for the Shadowfoil version, but other ones like Prison Priestess, the Shadowfoil ones, I think look better than like all of them. And then some other ones, I can't think of off the top of my head that I don't really care that it's Shadowfoiled. I think like Bellringer Angels one I'm like whatever about.
They're $40 or $30, however
Okay,
much they are.
I don't mind opening them and selling them, but
No, I need my play set of Shatters.
I personally like not hunting down Shadowfoils for at least Bellringer Angel for sure. I already got my Shadowfoils for Prison Priestess, like I said, because and the Evos because I really liked the art for it with the Shadowfoils because I don't know, it's something about it makes it look better.
I need to go and actually price out the Shatters that I need. Because some of them, a little cringe, like D-Shift, thankfully it's fallen a little bit. It was like $15 for a bit for the premium. I'm like, well, this card's not even good. Merlins are $50, so I don't know if I'm going to be balling with Merlins, to be honest. But
I might trade for
especially
Merlins just to have them. But yeah,
especially when I think my problem is I don't think that I'm going to be playing Rune in tournament. So while I want to max Rune, I don't know if I really do, right? I think I'd rather like max Sword or
yeah,
something, or like Haven, where I might actually bring that to a tournament. While Rune is like the fun deck, and spending $50 a copy on a card for a fun deck, maybe not the
not the
smartest
best.
thing.
Yeah. All right, I guess this will let us hop over to set announcements. So first things first, we got Uma, we got
Uma,
the horses
this is
girls.
the great filter. This is the
Yeah.
great filter. Anyone, because I want you to know, I went to the locals, right? When I was talking to people, and they're like, "Oh, yo." By the way, I got him. The guy who said the comments. Some guy at my shop went, "Oh yeah, this game is sick. Do they have Gandalf?" Because they were talking about Erasmus, my boy. I think the people who come into the game and they're like, "Oh, yo, I like Erasmus and I like Urias because he's a cool vampire." I don't know how they're gonna like when here's 180 cards of Uma Musume, however many cards it is of Uma Musume. I think it's gonna be a funny one to see.
Yeah. I Okay, so it was really interesting that to see the reception of everyone seeing this cuz um I kind of already knew this was coming. It was like guaranteed to come. But so I wasn't like too like surprised or anything by it. But the big thing about it though was the reception it received was very mixed. I did do a survey on the Facebook group. I should have had that already pulled up. Um, and
Not
I
prepared.
Yep, not prepared.
I'm just joking.
Look, listen, this podcast isn't our podcast unless it's really scuffed. Where is it? Oh my god. But yeah, but the reasonings on the divide were the most interesting part to me because there are some people like in the community that are very doomer pilled, I guess is the best way to say it. Like I totally understand being doomer pilled because I mean Dean and I are always very doomer pilled about Weiss in general.
Well, I call myself a realist. I just willing to call things like I see them.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm not doomer pilled.
I
Very
have
helpful.
I have the post here. I'm just not gonna put on stream just because there's people's names in there I don't want to put out there. But so I basically asked whether like they think this collaboration set was going to be a positive thing for the community or like is it going to negatively impact the community? And the split was like 71 to 29%, so like 70 to 30%. 70% being positive, the other 30% being negative. But the reasoning in the comments for a lot of people for it being negative was more surprising to me than anything. So like there I knew at some point there were going to be some people who were like, stupid anime horse girls, like I don't want this in my card game. I'd rather play like my crazy dragons and stuff, right? Like kind of like what you were saying.
That's what I'm ready for. That's where I think. I think the people in the Discord are not the people who will respond.
Yeah. And so
Like that.
that was kind of my assumption going into it, that was most of the negativity was going to come from. But surprisingly, a lot of it was mixed between like people thinking that uh Uma Musume, once it releases, is just going to destroy the game because it's going to destroy the meta game. And
That's crazy.
maybe, yeah, that okay, so that part is really insane to me because these are people who, a majority of these people making this complaint are people who've never experienced the format when Uma Musume came out in Japan.
They
And
just heard about it.
yeah, they just heard about it,
They
and
heard
it
about the
was,
spooky boogeyman under their bed.
yeah, and it was true when this came out unrestricted in Japanese. It dominated everything. I think one of their biggest tournaments was just literally top eight was 8 Uma Musume decks, right?
No, it wasn't that bad. It was like 6. But no. I think it was I think it was a top 8 was a 4-4 split of Dragon and Uma, because I think what happened was like Uma gave Dragon better tools,
Yeah.
and then anything that Uma couldn't snuff out, Dragon could. So the deck, like there was a 2-deck spread, which isn't like, if people have played TCGs, they should know a 2-deck spread coming out on top of a 1,900 person tournament is not unheard of.
But
that's not tier 0. That's like a tier 1 split. I mean, there's only 7 classes total in the game if you include Uma.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are topping. That's not like unheard of. It's like the pro players went to one of the 2. The other thing, now this is the thing that I'm like amazed by. People, how to explain this? There's 2 things at the same time. Number 1, there are people that are like, people will realize that they can't compete without these cards. What game do you play where a booster set comes out and you don't need new cards from it? What game? Rice only, right? Pokemon comes out. I can't believe people are going to quit this game when they realize they need Iono for the format. People are going to quit this game when they realize that Chon Pao is a good deck, right? Like what you do? Like, oh, people are going to quit Magic when they realize they need a card from the Lord of the Rings set for their Commander deck. Like, yeah, you playing Dragon. Yeah, you need the horse. You need the horse dragon card that like slams face for 10 damage. Yeah, you need that. So that was like a complaint I actually like did not understand when they're like this set's going to have cards that you need. It's like, I would hope that on my once every 3 months card game set that like I would get 1 card that was playable in my release. The other thing is this set is cheap. If I opened some boxes of this when it came out in Japan, this set is smaller than other sets and has much better pull rates. So the prices on this set is actually like dirt.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know. I didn't look into the Japanese like pricing for the set at all.
So yeah, this set has better pull rates. So that's kind of cool. I thought. So 1, it should be a cheaper set to buy, which is good for players. 2, bro, needing new cards from the set, that's going to happen. Yeah. Every 3 months, you got to put money into Cygame's wallet so you can get new cards.
Yeah, if you want to stay competitive, you eventually at some point you have to buy new cards. That take was also kind of weird to me. But I guess whatever. Like I guess maybe people were like, oh my god, this set's gonna be so broken. I have to make the Uma deck so that way I have to like literally buy a case into this set or something. I don't know if that was like the sediment or sediment. Is that the right word or whatever?
Sentiment.
Sentiment. There we go.
Sentiment is like the dirt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, but I don't know if that's just what the community was like attached to for some reason, or maybe it's just a lot of like people with loud voices that are complaining in the back. I don't know. None of it really made like too much sense to me of why complaining.
Yeah, because I can totally see, the guy at the shop that's like, oh my god, they got Gandalf in the game. I can see him being like, what is this weeaboo garbage,
Yeah, I can
right?
easily yeah I can easily see that for sure. The other complaints I don't completely understand, especially since I guess it's just segue into our next part of it is that they pre-restricted two of the most
It's insane,
important utility cards of the deck that let
bro.
you recur things a lot, which means like the from
One is dig, is one is recursive, one gold.
yeah. So removing these consistency tools was really big, even though they didn't take away any of the bombs. So like I talked to multiple people this weekend that have experienced the Uma Musume format, and all of them, well, like they don't know each other. These people I talked to, because I these were like people that I met randomly who played it in Japanese and like have experience with this deck. Every single person I talked to who has experience this, they're like, yeah, the deck is still going to probably be like one of the best decks once the set comes out, but it's going to be nowhere near as powerful as it was before. And it and like yes, they still have the big bombs, but restricting these utility cards was like a really big hit to like how consistent they were going to be, right? So like one example, our friend Sam said in Discord too is like instead of it being like 9 out of 10 games consistently destroying you, it's only gonna be 1 out of 10 now, where it's like you open up the utility cards to make things happen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which brings the deck more in line with the other top decks at the time. So like I think personally that during this format, because of this restriction that Japan didn't have at the time, we might see decks like come up like higher up into the tiers because they don't have to worry about so much about Uma. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say 5 months before the release, there are cards restricted to one. The most I've seen before that was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Joey's World 6 cents card that was clearly printed to sell copies, and I think that got restricted to one like a month before release. So is this the earliest a card has ever been restricted in any card game?
Possibly. I don't think I know any other card game that's like restricted cards so far
Yu-Gi-Oh
out.
has. Yu-Gi-Oh has a month before.
Yeah, but I mean this is 5 months out, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, that's it's like kind of insane. I thought like,
yeah,
holy shit.
I
I think it's like so you don't pre-order it and then go, oh my god, I can't believe they hit my deck, right? So
yeah,
I
I'm
understand. It's
actually
also really funny.
surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised they announced it so early. Like I had a feeling something like this would happen, but I figured they'd wait till after Booster Set 2 came out and they're like, "Okay guys, this next set that's coming out, there might be some restrictions here. Here are the restrictions, you know?"
Yeah,
Just
well, so many people are doomer pilled, and they're
yeah.
opening pre-orders already. So it's like,
It's weird.
you
Okay,
know,
so they opened pre-orders. Okay, the whatever the conference or whatever it was, they said the pre-orders are open. But when I go to my distributor right now, they don't have orders for it or order forms set up for it yet. So I don't. And the distributor I
I
use is one
can't
of the
believe you
main
missed.
Bouchered ones.
I can't believe you missed the pre-orders window.
Must
It
have.
was like it was a 10 hours.
It was for 10 hours. It was actually during that session, that conference. At the end of the conference, they closed pre-orders. But
Yeah, doomed.
yeah. So yeah, I'm hopeful because the community so far looks really great and everything. Game's super solid. I think these restrictions were good decisions overall for the format when the horses do come and like take over the format for a bit. I think this brings the deck in line with everything else from what I hear. Obviously, I haven't played it. I don't think you've played the deck itself, right, Dean? You've only seen it in action on videos.
I own the cards, but I have not actually played. I think I played like the the deck is a strong word. I have played with Uma cards and sleeves, 40 cards, like twice. It,
Okay.
it was definitely not the list
Yeah.
or anything resembling the list.
Yeah. But I'm a little less doomer pilled on this. I think we just wait till the release, and as we build up to it, we can see how it pans out. Obviously, they're very. I think Bushiroad or Side Games or whoever made this decision is acting very quickly, and so I think
Side games.
so I think if it's probably Side Games to be honest, but
Weiss didn't get their ban list in there, and they
oh
got a
yeah,
funny
it's
meta right
true. They have
now.
a really bad meta that coming up. That's a completely different topic, but the fact that they're already preemptively doing this, I think if there actually is an issue going into like Worlds or whatever with this, there or actually the meta will probably be Uma during Worlds, but I'm sure shortly after that, if there is an issue and they like all the like top 8 at Worlds was all Uma decks basically, then they'll probably come back and look at it again and make some changes. Shortly after that is my assumption, because they acted so quick on this, which is super, I think, surprised a lot of people in general, and honestly me too a little bit. I didn't think if they were going to do this, I didn't think any way they would announce it 5 months in advance. That seems insane to me, but
Also means you people bitching about Shenlong. He's here. He's here to stay. Sorry, I'm not. He's just pointing at the camera.
They banned him after set 2 came out, right? Not during set 2, but
No.
like right before Uma, or was it
After Uma?
Oh, after Uma? Oh, okay, so yeah.
It was like in the middle of Uma format, and they're like, okay, hold up. Disco Dragon's a little too strong.
Oh, okay, makes sense. All right, well, that gets us into the next booster set 3 coming out, Flaming Leviathan.
I know it's not playable, but this has chess. That's all that matters. I don't actually know what this is. I stopped buying. Oh wait, is this the Alice in Wonderland? Humpty Dumpty? This is that. Never mind. I do know some of these cards.
Was Alice in Wonderland from this set?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And this is the one too that has like the Evo branching tree, right? Where you have different forms for, you can pick what Evo you wanted to put it in, right?
There's only 2 in physical, from my understanding.
Yeah. Where you just keep, it's like the attack form or defense form, right? That's all they have in.
Yeah, this is from the anime, which watches a lot like which is like a bootleg. What are bootlegs? I don't want to attack this. It's like Buddy Fight. they got the little like chibi mascots that talk to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, like, Shadowverse, you play the game, it's like a high fantasy setting with like lots of lore, and then they're like, here's our school anime.
Yeah,
I don't know. The cards are cool, so.
Yeah, I only saw the first season of the anime before they changed it up. I just remember people losing their cell phone for
the same writer.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's literally the same show.
Okay.
They go to except for they go to like some college or something. I don't know.
But yeah, this set coming out, I think we like, according to like how the timeline is looking like, we assume this is going to be out March next year, right? Because it's roughly 3 months every time a set comes out, right?
February to March, yeah, somewhere in that area. I think
February, March is like the good time frame. Maybe it'll get pushed up sooner, but I highly doubt it, because was it Uma was coming? Oh, where is it?
December 3rd.
December 8th. Yeah,
December 8th.
Yeah, it'll probably come out Marchish to like February, maybe closer to February. I think maybe even in February, but. Yeah, this is going to be a really hype set. Was this the set too that made Haven, like the Haven burn deck, really good thing?
Yeah, Humpty.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if it. I think it might have been like fringe playable, and then they got like more support that like was more aggressive, and that.
Booster pack.
I could be wrong on that.
I just remember watching the WGPs they have in that they streamed on YouTube, and I watched some of the some of the Swiss rounds, and then I watched all of top 8 just to see like how the game was playing, and that deck looked super. First of all, that deck looked really fun and really hype, but it also looked really insane.
Oh, it was like unbelievable to watch. I've got some ideas about that meta a little bit. I got some ideas that might counter that deck, but I'd have to like actually play it. That's pretty far out right now. I'm still trying to get my feet in the ground on set 1. So
yeah, I know a couple of our friends have already like theory crafting booster set 2 and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not worrying about that right now, because literally the start of next month is when all the regional qualifiers are gonna, shop qualifiers are gonna happen, and I'm like, I just want to focus on what's out right now, and then after I get my spot to the regional, then I'll look at the next set.
Yeah, you got to focus in on the now, and then we can look at the future later.
Yeah, I know. I just know a lot of people are just hyped for the second set because it opens up more stuff for everyone. All right, and also, they announced this. This is actually an English exclusive collaboration with Niji Sanji En, with Amelie Parfait. I'm actually excited for this because I actually watch some of her streams, and I'll actually watch a lot of her clips. I'm not super active in her chat or anything like that, but I always like her big witch hat design. So I'm excited to see what alternate art cards she'll have. They're specifically alternate arts, right? So there's 2 different. Yeah, so like if you don't like her, you can just get the normal version art, I assume.
Yeah, I hate VTubers normally, but she was on stream for one of their collaboration streams last year, where they got the Niji Sanji people in to play the game. And I like her design. Big hat's good,
Yep.
and she was really BM, so I like that. She was
she
unbelievably BM.
I think they played the digital version too, right? At some point.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It was the
Yeah.
digital
Okay.
one.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, just making sure it was never the physical one. But yeah,
No.
didn't she win the event with her
Yeah,
coach? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought.
She was like sitting there spamming the emotes. She's like, "Oh, I've got it," and then started spamming emotes, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is good."
What a good natural born card game player. So I'm actually really excited for this. This is going to be a collaboration in Booster Set 3, like it says here. So there'll be alternate art cards. I'm going to collect all of her cards, max rarity or whatever they are, because that shit's going to be hype for me at least.
And it confirms that we are getting some English exclusive stuff. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe
Also,
we'll get that King of the Hill crossover instead of Kogios.
Oh man, I think Kogias is the collaboration set, is it not?
No, it was just a collaboration in the middle of the booster.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I think this was the booster that had Kogias originally.
Was it? Oh yeah, no.
And now, who knows?
Yeah,
maybe we get that King of the Hill.
No, wasn't this Lapis? Wasn't Booster set to be Lapis?
Booster set 2 was La Plus, and that's why I have it.
Okay, wait. Then what about the other girl? I forget her name. The Ojo-sama girl.
Maybe that was 3. Maybe 4 was Kogias.
I think 4 was Kogias because I think it was after Uma. It was, or not right after Uma, but around that. I don't remember. Whatever. Either way, maybe we'll get Kogias, maybe we won't. Who knows? But
maybe we'll get King of the Hill.
Yeah, screw it. We'll get King of the Hill or Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus. That's a good one. I like that one more. I want that instead.
Oh man. Yeah. I think that kind of wraps up for the news of the new booster sets and stuff coming out, right? I don't think there was anything else announced.
No, that's the that's that.
All right, and then the final thing that was announced in the stream, I don't really have a picture or anything, but here is Twitter. They announced how do I say this guy's name? I always can never say
Ignidus.
Ignidus and Different Fight as ambassadors for Shadowverse Evolve, which is really hype. I know Ignidus does a lot of digital content, right? Because I've checked out his YouTube channel before.
Yeah, he's probably one of the biggest content creators for the digital side of the game, and he usually does commentary for like the cups that they do monthly when they stream those. So he's like huge in the scene. Definitely getting more eyes in on the game. And Different Fight, I didn't realize how big Different Fight was.
Oh yeah, Different Fight's really big. Yeah, he's like huge in the Vanguard scene and has been like the Vanguard shill for life. I feel like I worked with him at Worlds in 2018 as one of the commentators there, but I did Weiss, so he did Vanguard obviously. And I think it's really funny because every time he goes to the regionals in Japan, there's always pictures of him because they're like, oh, there's that one white guy that plays in Japan for Shadowverse. I feel like I see him in a lot of pictures, just random like promotional pictures, because he just goes and plays.
Yeah, well, I mean, like looking at his like YouTube stats, because like we're on the grind. We're small right now, but we're trying to get out there, right?
Yep.
Igni, 20K, almost 30K subs, pretty big. Different Fight was like 200,000 when I checked, I think.
Yeah,
Different Fight is massive. Like that's substantial. I didn't realize that Vanguard was that big of a scene, but that's definitely 2 content creators. One, good. I know that Cygames has been great about promoting the community. I love that about them. Even if you're like nobody in the community, you can still like they give you like packs in game and digital. I'm talking about, right? But like this is still like they have like community incentives for putting out content because they want to see people out there. They realize that we as a community are better voices than they could be alone, right? And so like this is definitely a recognition like, hey, these are people that are going to like help get our game off the ground. And I think this is really cool that they've got this initiative going on and that these people are spearheading it.
Yeah, me too. Like these are definitely 2 like really big creators. They definitely picked 2 of like good ones for sure. And then the fact that Different Fight is in Japan, so we always get like updates from Japan for Shadowverse through him, things like that. Whenever he goes to whatever events he goes to play Shadowverse in, he's been posting a little bit more recently about the physical card game too on Twitter. I've been seeing, which is really cool. I can't say the dude's name. I don't know why.
They call him Igni.
Okay, Igni. I don't know where he's from. I assume he's not in Japan, or do you know?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
He's probably, is he in some Southeast Asian country? I assume, or is he like in Canada or
I
something.
have no idea, to be honest.
I don't think he has like a European accent at all, so I assume he's in Southeast Asia somewhere. So yeah, these are two great, amazing people. I'm really happy.
I can't believe he's in Cali. He's in
Cali, and I've actually been hanging out with him. I didn't even know. No, but I'm very happy. These are two really good content creators to pull in and definitely shill to a lot of people. And I think Different Fight being one of them too, it can pull a lot from Vanguard, because I've met a few Vanguard players, or like people who basically main game is Vanguard, but they're playing Shadowverse Evolve now, or at least trying it out, because I can tell too, because the terminology they use is just all Vanguard terms that I've heard like offhandedly from like other friends who play Vanguard. So yeah, it's really
they
cool.
call Evoing Ride.
Yeah.
Going to my ride deck.
Pretty much, and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what these two do. It's going to be I assume too that they're going to be our commentators for Worlds for the English side, which will be really cool to see. I'm really excited for what's to come next, especially since side games, like you said,
your judges.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said though, I'm really excited to see what side games does too, because they usually support the community a lot and the random content creators a lot. They try to do something usually, so really excited for that. All right, I think that wraps that up. I think that
now it's time for everyone's favorite segment.
I thought you wanted to talk about look at the prices for TCG Player.
Oh, I do, but maybe we need to throw this a little bit before the end. Yeah.
Go.
Everyone's favorite segment. Guess that flavor text. I currently have 3 points. I could have had 4, but I gave him the mercy win. I gave him the mercy question just to verify. So the idea of this segment is I'm going to read a flavor text this week to Kit. He has multiple lifelines to help him figure out what card it is. That is, what class it is, what type of card it is. Like, is it a, amulet, creature, or spell? And what booster in the digital game this card came out in. Since we're mostly playing physical, we're going to be only choosing physical cards, like cards that exist in physical. So, Kit, are you ready today for your question?
No, but I'll take it.
Yeah, this is unbelievably. I'm not going to say I'm throwing you like a softball, but
oh no,
the wise dragon's words bring strength.
The wise dragon's words bring strength. Well, I hope it's a Dragoncraft card, is what I'm assuming right now.
Oh.
All right, what kind of... Wait, what were the lifelines again?
You can ask what class the card is, what type of card it is, and what set it came out in.
Okay, what type
in digital?
What type of card is it?
It is a spell.
It is a spell? Oh, is it Dragon Oracle then?
Hey, there we go. We got it.
I knew it.
We got you an easy one.
All right, nice. So we're tied now, 3-3. Is that how that works?
We're tied now, 3-3.
Okay, good shit. I'm a god. Oh my god, this game's so easy. Why was I afraid? I can't wait till next week I get fucking demolished.
I can't believe you're gonna start getting tokens. It's not even gonna be the normal ones. It's gonna be the golems.
Oh my god. Oh man. All right, I better do my research for next week. I'm gonna try to find a really hard one for you because I know you.
Well, it's gonna be, dude. It's just gonna be like any Abyss card. I probably won't know. To be honest.
All right, Abyss it is. I'm gonna find the most obscure Abyss card with the dumbest quote ever. That's very confusing. Don't worry, I'll get you next week. All right. Well, with that out of the way, our last thing here is we want to look at prices, how things are shaping up, right?
Yeah, I mean, my cards got deleted, and then I heard the next day that all of them went up $10.
Yeah, I've been like following on and off a little bit. Like you and I opened a case, so like we're not really searching for cards necessarily. I'm just kind of like offloading my extra stuff.
Ooh, there is something I do want to say, and this is something I was discussing with a friend. Do you think over here in the West, because like in Japan, right, they've got a culture where Luna, you've seen that 180, she was like 700 in Japanese. Due to a culture.
Yeah.
Do you think that long term, because there's people that are like, oh, Gandalf, do you think we're going to see Erasmus and Urias be the money cards in the long run?
As much as I would love to see that, I don't think so. I
You
think
don't think so?
I think the cards that were gonna hold the most value, at least for now. I think these these three here are the ones that are gonna be like the ones that hold value the most. So we have
I
like
don't think.
Sinitra and then Aurelia and then Luna. I think those three are going to be like the ones that hold their value the most. But I think at the end of the day, the one that's going to be the most expensive is either going to be the Dragoncraft one or the Swordcraft one in long term for like the Western audience for some reason.
Luna's like not the best character. That's like the problem. I think like if people, the question is how many people actually play digital, and then how many people care about Luna. That's like the other question. It's like really weird, right?
Yeah.
Forte's up there, a little bit cheaper than I thought she might be, but you also get three U's in the case.
Yep.
And there's only 6 U's in the set, so
50% shot to hit it. I think some cases opened up multiple of the same U, right?
I have seen that. I was not one of those, but that can be either a blessing or a curse, depends. Sometimes you pull 2 Medusas and you're very sad. Otohime down to 70. I paid $80 for one of those.
Damn.
I knew I was getting scammed.
Jean is like been holding pretty decently, right? Has she even gone up a little bit? I don't remember.
I think she was 80 on release, yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot. When I was at locals, there were multiple people looking for Jean. It seems for some reason I didn't get this impression just because maybe I played so many Dragon Mirrors, but it seems like a lot of people will really want to play Havencraft even in Booster Set 1, which is interesting.
Yeah, I want to play Haven, and this card has like a lot of longevity. This card actually has the most longevity of any of the U's.
Yeah,
I think maybe Forte has like the same amount.
yeah, Forte's
But
gonna be there quite a while.
my problem with this card is, I think this card, if this card was replacing the base Jean, I think it'd be okay. But I think the Evo Jean is one of the most beautiful card arts I've ever seen on like a normal rarity card, and it's very sad that this replaces the Evo. That's just like what I'm saying.
Understandable. Oh my god, SL Forte up to $60 basically. Jesus. Oh my god, SL. Okay, I have a Lucifer SL that I want to get rid of for $65 at least.
That's insane.
That is insane.
The Merlins are also insane. Like, see, like I said, I'm like, oh man, I want Dirt Rune, but look how much that is. Or sorry, I just want like the Rune core, like max kind of. But then I'm not that baller.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I already have my set of Merlins. I don't know if I want to hunt down SL versions. I really like Merlin art though. Like the pre-Evo, I don't know what it is, but the pre-Evo one, the normal one, I like that art way more than the Evo one also, but it might just be me.
That Medusa, you sitting there at that $38.
Yeah, this is card. I don't think this card ever becomes like very like highly sought after either, which is unfortunate.
It's like kind of mid.
Yeah.
You're just collecting shiny cards, and it does look really nice. Oh, another thing I do want to say. I don't know if you knew this, but I own, of course, the Japanese cards, right? And this is crazy. I pulled Medusa and Aurelia out of my boosters in Japanese, and then I pulled Medusa and Aurelia out of my boosters in English.
Strong.
The Japanese cards had I don't know how to explain it. The color contrast was like lower on the Japanese ones, so they were darker, and it was like actually harder to see. Mm-hmm. And the textures were like a little bit nicer textures, kind of almost, but not really, because the card art was like so dulled that when I hold the English to the Japanese, we got out good. We're living good right now.
Yeah.
Our U's look way nicer than the Japanese ones did.
Yeah. To be fair, I guess Japan was almost like the beta test of like when they first printed, I assume, too, right?
Yeah. But there's something I noticed because like I pulled the Medusa and I looked at my other Medusa and I went, whoa, this other one looks way nicer. Ours look nicer. So we actually have nicer looking cards. It's the opposite of most games.
Let's take a real quick look at the Sword product. That's insane. Look at some of these. So like you can tell a lot of people have been wanting Sword. Like this is the most expensive starter deck, I guess.
Sort of sick.
27, 2669. Ooh, nice. But on Abyss, same thing with yeah. Looks like Havencraft is the one that's like the most roughest. People don't like Havencraft. Deck's pretty sick though. I think in English, so or in the set
Are you
one.
sure it's not the most listings left is that fairy deck?
Yeah, Fairy has a little bit more, huh? Yeah, well, I mean, looks like these two crafts are the ones that are like being left behind the most. I'm surprised the booster boxes got up are up to like $85 now. That's insane because like I was even selling them like on release like $60 each and less than that if you bought a case. And the cases are up to almost $1,500. That's insane.
Until we get that reprint or that
Yeah.
second wave,
Well,
right?
there's actually three waves. So the second wave is coming out in like from the day of this recording, like in the next day or so. A lot of stores are going to be getting it. And then there's another wave after that, which is I think it was God, I don't have the email open up right now, but it is like I think it's going to be shipping out on the 20th to two stores. So you should be getting it around the 20th, I think, of this month. So we're technically on a third wave of printings already for the booster itself, not the starter decks, obviously, but just the
So we're
boosters.
gonna hopefully see those prices slowly come down as like hopefully people can get product, right? I know that's definitely going to be something that this game be Bandai. I trust these boxes will hopefully get printed to the point that they're back down to $60. Sorry for anyone who wants to invest in sealed product. I don't think that you should be doing that at the beginning of a game. I hope that Side Games prints enough product that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think
Because I want,
investing in product early on too is like if you're gonna invest in something, you want the payoff to be like years away. So it's
yeah.
really yeah. But
So
yeah,
I'm hoping that we see, more
yeah,
product
I'm
at the
for sure.
shelves.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Hopefully,
sure
we get
like
those Lucifers a little bit lower, the bell
yeah.
ringers.
I think
Maybe I
all single prices
sell
will
this first.
yeah, I think all single prices will end up dropping after by the end of the month. Like some percentage amount. I mean, some will hold a lot of value, like Merlin's, Lucifer for a while until set two comes out. Things like that will definitely hold its value. But later on, it'll definitely drop just the fact that we're gonna have a lot more product out there. But I mean, like the fact that we're like basically on a third printing too is already another really good sign for the start of this game, right? Like, yeah, I'm really happy with the direction. Every like Shadowverse Evolve is going completely. I think I'm very hopeful for the future of the game. That's basically what it comes down to. I've been having so much fun playing. Like all I've been thinking about is like can the weekend get here so I can start playing at locals again because playing in those little events were a lot of fun. Meet new people I had never interacted with before because they play other booster card games that I don't care about, aka Vanguard. But yeah, yeah. I've just been meeting a lot of cool people and having a lot of fun playing this game. So I've been really happy
Yeah,
and excited.
and for I guess the last thing maybe before we close it out is for those of us who are wondering. I know a lot of people want to see gameplay on the channel. I know Kit said he's gonna get some cameras out to his locals, and we hope to get some edited content out. Probably, what's realistic next week?
It depends what we do. If we do webcam stuff, like I can slap it together, and cut out a lot of stuff and upload it this week sometime. But as far as local recordings go for in-person events, probably sometime next week, because I'll have to do the recordings like Friday, Saturday, or something, and then after that we need some time to like cut out all the dead time in between. Because I think we're gonna do it like Nala. If you're, I think you showed me their YouTube before.
Nala is like my favorite one. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like we want to bring. I know I really want to bring. I want to bring content that keeps people coming back. And I know that some people, I mean, if people want, like, right, if there's a lot of people like, oh, we want to see the full game, I know I've heard that. We can put up like a chop stream maybe as like a thing, but then also have like curated games that are actually edited.
Yeah, I like the
So
idea of
it's
doing curated games where we cut a lot of the dead space in between, especially if it's more casual games we're recording for those, because then we'll just like probably be shit talking each other and bantering back and forth, which is always fun. And then cut the dead air in between or any shuffling that has to be done to shorten the time of the video and go from there. But yeah, but I think that kind of wraps up everything. So we're looking forward to doing a lot of like actual content moving forward now for match videos and stuff like that, and do some commentary, which will be a lot of fun. We'll probably have some deck profiles up, right, at some point for like any lists we play that are winning locals or something, which will be fun too to do that and get that
Gonna
out
be
there
on
for
Kit for
everyone.
a bit. I
Yeah,
gotta corral the locals together first.
just post your top deck list. One of one locals got first place.
One of one locals. It's 3 goblin, 3 fighter.
Oh man. But yeah, and then I guess just to close it out too, like we're looking at our stats. Like 60% of you aren't subscribed to us. You should be subscribed to us. Why are you coming back here and not subscribing? So if
Especially
you,
if you made
yeah,
it to the end of this.
yeah, absolutely. If you enjoy our stuff, just subscribe, like all that stuff. It really motivates us a lot more to keep going. And then hopefully soon, after we grow a little bit more and do a couple more of these podcasts, we can get some other either content creators or players on. Because that's one thing I really disliked coming from the Weiss community in general is that there's not a lot of emphasis on like the players or anything like that. But when I came from like Magic and other card games, like players like could make a name for themselves and people would know those players. But I feel like in Weiss and some other card games I've played, it's not as community focused as Magic. I feel like one of the good parts about MTG was like the community and how community focused a lot of the content and like the players were important, not necessarily just like the cards, right? Or what deck they were playing. So I hope to see that a lot more moving into this game because I think that was like one of the big things I missed seeing a lot in like other Boucher card games because I like seeing those storylines of like players coming and making comebacks and so forth and like winning worlds or something, right? Those are like
Yeah.
fun, exciting like storylines you can follow even if you're not like a top player yourself. But yeah, you're gonna say
Yeah,
Dean?
definitely just like, definitely more focus on the community so more people. Like you shouldn't just know like one person, you should know like quite a few.
Yeah, for sure.
But did you I guess we can maybe save it for next stream maybe. I know you had some plans cooking, but I didn't
Oh,
know if you
yeah, those plans will probably be announced next week. So I'll
right,
talk
so
to you
we're still
later on
we're
that
still we're
because
still brewing some stuff. Don't worry, we're in the kitchen.
yeah, just let us
Oven
cook.
smoking. Oven smoking.
But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you made this far, like honestly, thank you. We're really thankful that people even watch our content. And honestly, the rate we've been growing at too has been insane. Like we kind of, I don't know if you expected that, Dean. Did you expect us to get this many subscribers this quick? I feel like we're doing it way faster than I anticipated.
I honestly did because I thought this was a real game.
Uh,
There is a reason I have been so distraught about our previous endeavors.
yeah, I
I
understand. Yeah.
I looked at all the stats of the game. I know that like for those who don't know, I mean I mentioned this in the other stream. I am like the biggest Shadowverse shill imaginable. It's just like my focus in the past was on a different card game. But I was looking at all the stats once like the physical card game was coming out in Japan. I was looking at how I was doing, and I was just thinking about like what the potential is for it to grow. And so honestly, I think we're on a good trajectory, and it's actually roughly what I expected. I couldn't have been happier. So people in the street to play the game, that's it's a little bit popping off more than I expected, but
That's for sure.
your area is a little wild.
It's true. I mean, I can't help it, man. California, like a
What I,
lot of Bushiroad players, so
what I
a
will
lot of
say
people
though is
enjoy it.
there has been more people coming to this game than I ever could have imagined. Like not our channel growth, but the names I've seen popping up are people I didn't think would touch the game, and so I thought that was like quite strange, but in a good way. It's like, well, I thought these people wouldn't touch this game, but now they're here. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just all good signs pointing forward. We're the hopeful dreamers here, I guess. And none of that doomer pill stuff for us until we're actually screwed over. But yeah. Oh man, I think with that we'll close it out. We're already over an hour. Kind of want to keep these about an hour or less, possible. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh, also, I guess one last thing, we didn't really come up with a name. I saw a couple different people suggest names. Dean and I will talk about it
did it.
again. But if you have any more names you want to like possibly use for the cast name of this, throw it in the comments or something, or let us know, DM us, whatever. We'll give credit to whoever comes up with the best name if we pick one of their names. If we don't come up with one ourselves that we like, but yeah, we're open to suggestions. So shoot it out there. I think other than that, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later, everyone.